Hello, my name is Steve Wood. I'm the National Chairman for AAU Powerlifting Executive Committee. Welcome to AAU Powerlifting, and thank you for taking the time to view this presentation of the current competition rules. The purpose of this presentation is to provide a visual version of the basic rules used during AAU Powerlifting meets. The Executive Committee felt it was important to provide this program so that lifters, coaches, and officials can quickly view or review an overview of the current rules that are in place. Hopefully, by having this program available, we can maintain greater consistency and you will have a better understanding of the administrative requirements and the specific techniques that are being judged during competition. This presentation is an overview of the powerlifting rules. It is not designed to replace the rule book. It does not provide all the answers to all the questions that you may have. We recommend that you and all lifters and coaches read the rule book in its entirety. To get to the rule book, go to www.aausports.org and click on Powerlifting, then click on Rules. This presentation will be divided into 4 segments. This segment covers the general rules, and it's an overview of the information that you need to have as a lifter. The second segment will be the rules on squat. The third segment will be the rules of bench press, and the fourth segment will be on the deadlift. I'd like to start this segment by talking about some of the important administrative rules and provide an update of the current powerlifting rules that are in effect. First, I'd like to talk about membership requirements. All lifters must have a current AAU card. Coaches, you must have a non-athlete card. AAU offers a free coaches online training program through the Positive Coaching Alliance. This program provides interactive video and audio programs designed to help make coaches more informed and more effective. Again, go to the website and click on Partners. If you're competing as a team, your team must have a current club membership. All membership cards can only be obtained online at www.aausports.org. Remember, if you're competing, you must have a current card before weigh-ins. AAU also offers a second option. That's an AB card. AB cards are available to all AAU members. The card provides insurance for athletes while participating in organized sporting events, even if it's not an AAU sanctioned event. Again, go to the website and click on Insurance Overview to get more information. The next thing I'd like to talk about is the substance abuse program. AAU offers a comprehensive program that's divided into several parts. The first part of the program provides education. There's a website you can go to for more information on substance abuse. We also provide on-site during the competition what we call during meet type drug testing, as well as off-site drug testing. If you are tested or if you are called to be tested and you refuse the test, you must understand that you are going to be put on the banned list. All lifters, if called to be tested, must comply with the drug test regulations. We also recognize other federations and all their published ban lists. Next, we'll talk about weigh-ins. Weigh-ins can be done as much as 24 hours before the meet. Most meets, the weigh-ins are done the morning of the meet and no earlier than 2 hours before the meet begins. Weigh-ins last for 1.5 hours, and all weigh-ins are done in either the nude or underwear. Lifters may weigh in more than one time during the hour-and-a-half weigh-in time frame, but all lifters must compete in only one weight class. You must also bring all of your equipment during weigh-ins so that it can be inspected by one of the officials. And now I'd like to talk about the rule changes. It will now be acceptable for raw lifters to be able to wear wrist wraps for all lifts. Raw lifters will now be able to use knee sleeves for the squat and deadlift. The start command has been added to the bench press, and you must now successfully complete your third lift before being able to ask for a fourth attempt. There were additional clarifications made to the rule book, including a definition of what lightweight bars are for youth lifters. For more information, watch the additional segments of this program. And now I'd like to turn the program over to Rudy Garcia. Rudy is an AAU international official. He's been an official in 3 different organizations since 1989. He's a former Virginia State chairman and past treasurer of the AAU Powerlifting Executive Committee. He's a meet director, competitor, and coach for national and international events in Europe, Africa, and the U.S. Welcome, Rudy.
Thank you, Steve, for that warm introduction. What I'd like to talk to you about today is the first thing I want to talk about is your personal equipment and your costume. I'm going to do this by covering the raw category and the assisted lifting category. In the raw category, every lifter must wear a non-supportive single-ply singlet. Unless they're 19 years old and younger and working at a state or local meet, and then they can wear t-shirts and shorts. All lifters must wear a non-supportive shirt with sleeves under their singlet for all lifts. Sleeves cannot touch the elbows. Lifters may wear a belt, and if worn, the belt must be of leather. It may have no padding or bracing. There may be no Velcro, and it must have a buckle or a quick release. Wrist straps, as you heard from Steve, are now authorized for all lifts. If used, they must be single ply. For wrist straps, they can be no longer than 1 meter long and 8 centimeters wide, and the loop on the wrap may be worn over the thumb while lifting. This is one of those rule changes that Steve talked about. Knee sleeves, as authorized, must be single ply rubber, elastic, or neoprene. They may not have any Velcro clips or straps on them. They may be no more than 30 centimeters in length and no more than 1/4 inch in thickness. Socks are optional and may be worn, but they may not contact the knee. Shin guards may be used, but they must be below the knee. And you must wear shoes or boots. Now, I'm not going to talk to you and define what a shoe or a boot is. To find out that detailed information, you have to go to the website. Every athlete must wear non-supportive commercial underwear or an athletic supporter. Supportive groove-type briefs are not authorized. Your underwear may not show on your legs below the singlet, and for women, a sports bra is approved equipment. Another thing that we've added is that you are now allowed to wear a commercial sweatband on the platform. Now I'm going to move into the equipped or assisted category. And in this, the lifter may wear a supportive lifting suit. If they choose to do so, it must be a single-ply suit with no alterations, with the exception of minor shoulder strap length alterations. The lifting suit may have no Velcro, no leather. It may not be denim or canvas. It must have legs, and the legs may not touch the knee wraps or the knees. For the assisted lifter, they can choose to wear supportive lifting shirts for both the bench and the deadlift. And if they use it, like the lifting suit, it must be single ply with no alterations. It contains no Velcro, no leather. It may not be made of denim or canvas. It may not have an open back, and it must have sleeves that do not touch the elbows. Like the raw category, a lifter may wear a belt, and if worn, the belt must be of leather with no padding or bracing, no Velcro, and it must contain a buckle or quick release. Wrist wraps are authorized for all the lifts. If worn, just as in the raw category, they must be single ply, no more than 1 meter long and 8 centimeters wide, and the loop may be worn over the thumb while lifting. Knee wraps are authorized for all lifts. If worn, they may not exceed 2 meters long and 8 centimeters wide for weight classes less than 90 kilos, and for weight classes over 90 kilos, they may not exceed 2.5 meters long and 8 centimeters wide. When you're using the wraps, they may not extend beyond 15 centimeters above and below the center of the knee. Like in the raw category, knee sleeves are authorized, and if worn, they must be single ply rubber, elastic, or neoprene. They may contain no Velcro, clips, or straps. They may be no more than 30 centimeters wide and 1/4 inch thick. Also, as in the raw category, you may wear socks, but they may not touch your knee. You may wear shin guards, but they must be below your knee, and you must wear shoes or boots. Also is in the raw category, all lifters must wear non-supportive commercial underwear or an athletic supporter, and groove briefs are not authorized. Your underwear may not show on your legs below the singlet, and a sports bra is approved equipment for women, and you may wear commercial sweatbands. What I'm going to talk about now is some general meet information. When you're at the meet and getting ready to lift, you may not use lubricant on your body or your uniform. You may use baby powder for the deadlifts, and you may use chalk for all of the lifts. No smelling salt or ammonia inhalants are allowed on the platform, and no smelling salts or ammonia inhalants are allowed for lifters under 20 years of age. Coaches may not coach on the platform. And remember, like Steve said, you must have an AAU card, coaches, and it must be a non-athlete card. No equipment is allowed to be adjusted on the platform except for your belt. If you have pre-existing injuries or disabilities, you must report these to the head referee prior to taking your lift. If you injure yourself, you may be allowed to tape up the injury, and you must report all injuries immediately to the head referee. Any open wounds must be covered, and you must report any blood on the platform or the equipment. What I'm going to talk about now is a general order of competition. I'm going to walk you through what happens in a meet, when you have to turn in your attempts, and how long you have to get off of the platform and turn in your subsequent attempts. So let's get started. On your first attempt, you must turn that into the scorer's table before the first lifter in that flight is called to the platform. Before the flight starts, the lifting order will be posted, and you'll have an announcer who announces the lifting order periodically throughout the meet. Lifters, you must pay attention to that announcer. After the announcer calls the bar ready to begin the lift, or the head referee calls the bar ready, you have 60 seconds to begin your lift. In the squat and bench press, this means you must receive either the squat command or the start command within 60 seconds. In the deadlift, this means you must begin on your own within 60 seconds, as there is no start command from the chief referee. After you complete your lift, you have 30 seconds to leave the platform. Your second, third, and fourth attempts must be turned into the scorer's table within 60 seconds of your previous attempt. So if you take the whole 30 seconds to leave the platform, you only have 30 seconds to turn in your next attempt. After you turn in your subsequent attempts, you may not make changes once the scorer has written them down. An exception to this rule is your third attempt on the deadlift, and that may be changed twice. There's some specific rules on how to do that, and again, I refer you to the website and the rule book. Unless you're attempting a record, the minimum weight increase on your subsequent attempts is 2.5 kilos or 5 pounds. Lifters or coaches should take and check the weight on the bar before each lift. The chief referee will determine the course of action for any loading errors. If there is a loading error, the lifter may choose to accept the lift, or they may choose to retake the same weight at the end of the flight. What I want to talk about now are some of the general reasons why your lifts may be disqualified during the competition. I'm going to cover the specific rules pertaining to each lift in subsequent segments. So generally, if you're unable to complete the lift, you didn't follow your commands, the spotters helped you during the lift, you didn't start the lift within 60 seconds, those are all reasons that you may get disqualified for your lift. Any misconduct of either the lifter or the coach on the platform could disqualify you. And any cursing after being warned is rules for disqualification. And this briefing that we have now and the briefing that you receive at the beginning of every meet is your warning about cursing. Any appeals, protests, or complaints must be delivered verbally or in writing to the jury or the head referee, and they must occur during the meet. They will not be accepted after the meet. What I'd like to do now is move in and talk a little bit about records. Record setting, what types of records we have, where they may be set, and what you need to do as a lifter to set those records. First off, we have 3 general types of records. We have state records, American records, and world records. State records can be set at any state or local meet. In order to do that, you must be a resident of that state. American records can be made at any sanctioned meet, and you must have the appropriate judges. In order to set an American record, there must be a minimum of 2 nationally qualified referees on the platform. World records can only be set at world, international, or special meets. Again, as in the American records, you must ensure that you have the appropriate judges, and that's a minimum of 2 international referees. Any level of these records may be set in all age and weight classes and in both the raw and the assisted divisions. You have the powerlifting records, which consist of all 3 lifts and includes a total. You have single lift records, which include the bench press and the deadlift. And then you have the push-pull records, which include a combination of bench press and deadlift. That is a special category that may or may not be offered at the meet that you're currently attending. All of our American and world records are on the AAU website. Let me tell you how you can break an American record. The first thing is you have to increase the weight by at least 1/2 kilo over the current record. To do 1/2 kilo, if your meet director has them available, you can use 1/4 kilo plates, or you can use the 1.1 pound weight disc. It is you, the lifter, or your coach's responsibility to let us know when you're making a record attempt. You must inform the scorer's table before the attempt, and you should check to make sure that the correct referees are in place on the platform. You may be granted a 4th attempt to set a record if you had a successful lift on your 3rd attempt. That means you got at least 2 white lights, and that successful lift was within 5% of the current record. You also still need to obtain permission of the head referee to take a 4th attempt. And just a reminder, 4th attempt records do not count for scoring purposes. They're not added to your total.